Hey guys, if we reach 1,000 likes, we'll be giving out 2 of our new shirts. All you gotta do is click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The 90s. All of us teenagers look upon it with fondness. Those were the days when cartoons meant something. They were great, they were awesome. Unlike today, where they make more money, are viewed by more people, have higher animation budgets, and arguably deeper storylines. But the 90s, those were the golden ages for cartoons, when everything also got cancelled. So let's take a trip down memory lane and relive some of our favorite childhood shows that unfortunately never saw completion. This is the top 10 list of cancelled cartoons that should have been continued. Number 10, Rockos Modern Life. Rockos Modern Life was a staple TV show in the 90s for Nickelodeon, created by Joe Murray. It was pretty interesting and had a bit of surreal art style to it, which may, in retrospect, have contributed to the show's cancellation. Not to mention it had some pretty dirty jokes in it, which are great as a teen or an adult, but if you were a parent and you saw your kid watching a show where the main character ends up working at a sex hotline, you may not take too kindly to that. It also had the same thing that MOP had going on with it in 2010, where the original creator only worked on it for 1 season, then it was taken over by another person for the next 3, and finally by Steven Helberg, who actually ended up making SpongeBob SquarePants, which explains why SpongeBob SquarePants has as many dirty jokes in it as it does. Joe also made Camp Lazlo, another great and amazing show that I personally enjoyed, which was cancelled too. Number 9, Courage the Cowardly Dog. So this is one of the few horror comedies out there. Not too many actually get aired on TV, as cartoons are normally aimed at kids. I'm pretty sure no parents wants to stay up with their kids because they got spooked watching a TV show. It started in 1999, so only 1 year before the world ended, and only 13 before it ended again. It was created by John R. Dilworth and was critically acclaimed, winning 2 awards, one for sound editing and another for production. So why was it cancelled? Well, there are a few possible reasons, but the most interesting one would be the scene between Bunny and Foxy. It was seen as having extreme lesbian shipping vibes, and as normal, soccer moms rallied together with the "Can I see your manager haircut?" and put the pressure on Cartoon Network to have it removed. Oh, soccer moms, ruining everyone's fun since the dawn of time. Number 8, Xiaolin Showdown. This was one of the shows that actually got me to get up on Saturdays as a kid. You know, when I didn't have adult responsibilities. It was a fun little show on WB, back before they decided showing cartoons on Saturday promoted delinquency and cut all their Saturday lineups. We aren't really sure as to why it was cancelled. I'm pretty sure Cartoon Network picked the show up, but it simply fell off the radar of a lot of kids. So it's probably a combination between animation really being expensive and no one actually watching the show, despite people enjoying it. Number 7, Kim Possible. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Kim Possible, and no, not the Blue Horse one, was created in June 7th, 2002, and lasted for about 5 years. A pretty decent runtime. The dynamic between Ron and Kimmy is an interesting duo. Ron was pretty bad at, well, almost everything, dealing with spying, and Kimmy was essentially perfect. And then you have Shigo. Shigo is honestly one of the more interesting villains of the show. She follows the kind of standard villain cohort dynamic with her boss being incompetent and her being the straight shooter with high ambitions. Pretty standard for the time. Everyone loved it and wanted more of it. So why was it canceled? Well, we actually have the full reason as to why, and you're not going to like it. It was because they already made enough episodes to keep it in syndication. Yep, that's it. Everyone enjoyed it. It wasn't going over budget, but they just had enough episodes stored up that they could just rerun it and make more money. Number 6, Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom, aka Waifu Ember's show, and no, not the dragon from MOP. Jeez, why are there so many name similarities? Anyhow, cute gothic rocker chick aside, the show was pretty fun, if a tad morbid, if you stop to realize the guy was battling dead teenagers. People like, once again, Ember, who apparently ended up killing herself. But the deeper story was pretty unique for the time. Danny Phantom was soon cancelled because it just cost too much money. Nick gave Butch the option to make a 1-hour finale for the show, and unfortunately no one wanted to pick it up because, well, it apparently didn't get any views. You'll notice a trend here. Nick doesn't really like to spend money. Number 5, Kids Next Door. Kids Next Door followed the group of kids battling the evil adults in their world by using amazing advanced technologies. Besides the fact that apparently kids have perfected ground-to-space aircrafts and advanced bases before the adults, it was a pretty unique concept that sadly hasn't been replicated today. It combined mecha scenes with the whole teenager army trope Chinese cartoons often implemented, like Cory in the House. Memes aside, the show had a pretty good run, from 2002 to 2008, spanning 6 seasons and a total of 78 episodes with 2 movies. Now that I'm done reading the wiki, let's go into the fun stuff. Why it got terminated? I mean, it wasn't 18, so it wasn't an adult and decommissioned, so what happened? Well, on certain wiki pages, it ranges from not being as receptive with the target demographic and being too violent for kids. Interestingly, there was an attempted spin-off that had a bunch of petitions made to bring it back from the creator to pitch it to Cartoon Network by showing it had an interest. It failed. But hey, they put it back on the air as reruns. At noon. During the weekday. When you're at school. Oh, the irony. Number 4. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It was spun off of another show that I can't be bothered to look up the title for, something about a purple bear with a guy's brain in it and try to take over the world. Anyhow, it's centered around 2 kids enslaving the embodiment of death himself. This show inspired so many memes. I remember my parents falling in love with Fred Fredberger and enjoying his one-liners. Number 3. Megas XLR. It was made by George something. It was made by George K. and ran until 2005, but only started in 2004. So not exactly the longest running show. And for whatever reason, it won awards for one of the best shows in the 2000s. It sadly had poor ratings, which led to its eventual cancellation. Kind of contradictory things. The problem here is everyone enjoyed the show now, but they weren't watching it before. Perhaps it's because it was just too mature, since it ran on Toonami and perhaps they didn't have a large enough pool back then. Regardless, the lesson here is something I and Team 4-Star and everyone else who makes derivative works has always said: support the official release, because that's the only way you'll see more. Number 2, Teen Titans. So I'm counting this one as cancelled because the spin-off is so far removed from the original series. Plus, the storyline isn't actually continued. The series actually only lasted for 3 years, from 2003 to 2006. Ironically, the show was only planned for 4 seasons and got a 5th due to popular demand, yet it was still cancelled. I'm not sure how they crammed 5 seasons into 3 years, but they did it. It's stated as one of the most critically acclaimed series on Cartoon Network, but was never picked up because of reasons. Not exactly sure why it wasn't kept going, but best show, critical acclaim, but no continuation. Guess my waifu Raven will sadly have to live on in direct-to-DVD movies and Zone Flash games. And the number 1 spot goes to Invader Zim. Invader Zim is probably one of everyone's favorite from Old Nick. It had a unique, gritty art style that had a lot of muted colors, kind of the opposite of what you'd think most shows would have. It's created such legendary characters as Dib, the lovable idiot, who just wants to help everyone. Zim, the also lovable idiot, but he wants to destroy everyone. And Gaz, who's my waifu. Psych! What, do you think every bad girl / goth character is my waifu? Only in the versions where she's 18. Anyway, Invader Zim ran from 2001 to 2004, but for some reason Google thinks the pilot launched on 2011. Silly Google. This show was sadly cancelled for the same reason a lot of Nick shows are. Because animation costs a lot. Screw good shows, we can't afford it. To be honest, the show did cost quite a lot, and can you blame them for cutting it? If they can't pay for the show, then why would they continue to make it? There are some comics out there, and they're actually pretty nicely done. There's even some dubs of it. There was a rumor of a movie that was supposed to tie everything up, but that sadly never happened. There also are some fans who are trying to animate it, but once again, that's been going on for years, and we haven't really seen anything out of that. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for my list. Let me know if you guys had some favorite shows down below that were canceled. The 90s were an amazing time. Yes, I am a 90s kid, even though I was born like right before 2000, but I am a 90s kid and I look on it with joy, even though all my shows were actually reruns. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Let me know for any suggestions of top 10s that you guys want to see down below there, and I'll try to get to them if they're not completely dumb. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and like this video and subscribe. Click the bell. Visit our Patreon for awesome tiers. Hey there guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in getting some merch, visit our TeePublic store. And if you really love us, be sure to check out our Patreon where you can get some awesome perks for supporting the channel.